Oh, yeah. Is it Saturday already? Have we made it through yet another week of Star Wars news? Okay, Skeleton Crew is over, but we got to rank all these different Star Wars shows. Where does Skeleton Crew fit in with the rest of the Disney Plus Star Wars seasons? Is it at the top of the list? Is it towards the bottom? Where will this show pan out? In doing so, we have to rank all the other Star Wars seasons, but that'll be a fun blast. So let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Saturday afternoon? All right, chat. I may sound like I'm really sick, but I promise you I am feeling better today, okay? Okay. My voice is pretty much gone, but we're going to do this anyway. We're going to do this anyway, chat, okay? Okay. So without further ado.
This is where the fun begins.
Okay, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? I'm trying to get my voice back with all this tea and stuff, but it's not really working. So let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? All right, let's do this. Troy, what is up? 7:30. Evie, how we doing? Rose in the house. Haja, what is up? Another Mike who loves Star Wars in the house. Matt, what is up? Robert, how we doing? Safari Tano, how we doing? Lowdown, what is up? Holly, how we doing? Jessica, what is up? Nicholas, how we doing? John Groom in the house. Bryant, what is up? Akiru, how we doing? Agnes, I should say. Marcus, what is up? Brandon Baker in the house. Annie K, what is up? All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Let's just give everybody a nice little,
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Whoops, wrong button. Okay, let's talk about this, shall we? Before we get into this ranking of the Star Wars shows, okay? Let's talk about the deleted scene that was supposed to be in the finale of Skeleton Crew, okay? The legendary character known as Nina Wood, okay? Star Wars fans have been coming after me for weeks now, saying, Mike, hey, Mike! There's this character named Nina Wood who will be in the Skeleton Crew finale, will be revealed to be the master of Jod Nadawood, okay? And I was like, yeah, maybe. Okay, sure. They're like, no, Mike, trust me. Trust me, bro. Bro, trust me. I work for Lucasfilm, Mike. Mike, guess what? I work for Lucasfilm. Nina Norwood, played by Haley Webb. She'll be in the finale. Trust me, bro. And guess what didn't happen? Guess what didn't happen, chat? Haley Webb playing Nina Norwood in the Star Wars Skeleton Crew finale. However, it has been revealed that there was a deleted scene from the Skeleton Crew finale that featured a Jedi who is going to be Jod Nadawood's master, or the Jedi who found Jod and was murdered in front of Jod, but it wasn't going to be played by Haley Webb. Let's talk about this. Okay, so this is coming from Star Wars Newsnet. Hang on, let me zoom in on this. Okay, here we go. So let's read this, shall we? Skeleton Crew Yasmin Al-Masiri, I think, played Jod's Jedi Master in a deleted scene. Actress Yasmin has taken to social media to share that she was supposed to appear in Skeleton Crew as Jod Nawood's Jedi Master. On Instagram, the actress showed off behind-the-scenes photos of her in the costume of her training on set, even wielding a prop lightsaber. Yasmin and her character eventually did not make the final cut of the show, which is very strange to me, and this is her right here. This is very strange to me, because last stream we talked about how John Watts and Chris Ford, the co-creators of the show, said that there was never going to be a flashback scene. Pretty strange that they would have said that when there was filmed a flashback scene. And even weirder, they cut the flashback scene. Strange, but let's keep reading. Yasmin writes that the role was very small, but nonetheless meaningful. She states that the crew even thanked her for portraying the first female Arab Jedi in Star Wars, below in the screenshot of her post, as well as what she looked like in the show. So this is sort of the screenshot that she had. Oh, we can't look at all of them. Oh, can we? No. Oh, what? Okay. Well, this is her post. We can go look at it in a second, but that's the post. That's what she looked like. Obviously, a Jedi, clearly. And the one who found Jod Nana would uh, after Order 66. Okay. As it is now, audiences get hints at Jod's past, and in the finale, he finally explains what happened in his past. In the last episode of The Real Good Guys, Jod delivers some explosion. What? Sure. Exposition, sorry. Indicating that his master was killed when he was young. He was surviving, found a Jedi, trained with the Jedi. Jedi was murdered in front of him. He talks about how dark the galaxy is. Okay? He was abandoned and left starving. It appears that in the scene featuring Jod's master that was filmed but didn't make the final cut. So it was filmed but didn't make the final cut. Why is that? Why was this scene cut away? It's not like the finale didn't warrant this. When you go back and watch Jude Law or Jod Na explain his character's backstory, it almost feels like we're about to see a flashback. And then we didn't. Maybe it was cut because it got leaked. Interesting. Wes thinks because it got leaked, that's the reason that it got cut. I know that Marvel has done that in the past. Kevin Feige has deleted stuff that has gotten leaked because he wants it to be a surprise. But I don't know if that's the case here. Because yes, it got leaked that this character existed, but it was by the wrong name, or possibly the wrong name, and the wrong actress. So yes, they got it right, but they also got it wrong. Now, John Watts and Chris Ford also mentioned in that article that we talked about on Thursday's live stream that they might be keeping this for a second season. When they were asked about Jod's backstory and what actually happened and whether or not we would see a flashback, they said no, but maybe in a later season. That was never planned for the first season. That's what they said. It was never planned for the first season. But they filmed it. They literally filmed it and it was cut. It's crazy. Very, 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 very strange. They would say that it was never intended for the first season, but they literally filmed it. Makes me think a second season's coming. Makes me think that a second season is on its way. But let's keep reading. Interestingly enough, though, John Watts and Chris Ford talked about the flashback scene in this Entertainment Weekly article, where they thought about including more of Jod's backstory. They eventually eliminated that portion, wanting to portray Jod more as a perspective for the children. So they didn't want to focus on Jod's perspective. They wanted to focus on the children's perspective more than Jod's. And that's why the flashback inevitably got cut. Or at least that's the story. So tell me in the chat, do you think this backstory should have gotten cut? What do we think? Tell me in the chat. Oh, that is a gross combination. What do we think, chat? Thank you. Good. Oh, no. I just got a refill of tea over here, chat. Okay. How burning lava hot do you think this is, chat? Should I just drink it? That's really hot. No, we're not going to drink it. Okay. Could be used for Tales of the Jedi Season 2. Well, Tales of the Jedi is an animated show. You know? I feel bad for the actor. Well, yeah, she seemed pretty hyped up about being in Star Wars, and her role was obviously cut. But it's possible that it could be used for a second season, or I don't even know, somewhere else down the line. I have no idea. It's definitely possible that this character eventually will show up in Star Wars. Usually, when there's an open end, like a possible flashback to Jod's backstory, we're going to eventually get it seen. Eventually. Maybe not right away. Maybe not for a couple of years. But I actually think that this will be in the show, or in a second season of the show, if that ever happens. I don't think it's permanently cut, but I'm happy with the story as it stood on its own. I agree that it didn't need a flashback in that finale. Like, we didn't need a flashback. But I don't think it would have hurt. Because it wouldn't have been like an Order 66 flashback where we're going back to Coruscant or anything like that. It would be a pretty small flashback to wherever Jod's home planet is. This war-torn, maybe whatever planet where he lived in a hole in the ground. So it wouldn't really cost much to do that, except for paying the actress. Yeah. She is too pretty to be an Order 66 survivor. That's why they cut it. Well, she was supposed to be this ragged, dirty, surviving Jedi. But yeah. Jod is definitely coming back. I think Jod will return in Star Wars at some point, but right now he's captured by the New Republic. So where would he show up next? In the Mandalorian Grogu movie? But what's his purpose in that? Possibly in a Skeleton Crew season 2, but what's his purpose in that? Like, he's now a prisoner of the New Republic, or at least we assume he's a prisoner of the New Republic, as the New Republic shows up at the very end of the series. So where would we see Jod next? We don't see him get captured. True, we don't see him get captured, but they don't allude to him getting away. They're not like, oh, Jod escapes. No, they didn't. It was just him watching his ship fall, and then the New Republic shows up. So we assume that the New Republic captures him. So where would we see Jod next, chat? Think the tea is cold enough now to drink? Still steam coming off it. Can you see the steam, chat? Can't really see it in the camera. I don't want to burn my tongue. I'm going for it. Whoa, my glass is fogging. I'm too big of a baby. Okay, we'll wait. All right, let me put up a poll in the chat though. So Skeleton Crew is of course over, and now we've had about 3-4-ish days to sort of talk about, think about, really look back on the entire Skeleton Crew series. So with that, first of all, smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. That's what the last poll said. Smash a freaking like on the stream. But if now that you've had a couple days to sort of think about the Skeleton Crew show as a whole, let me put up this poll in the chat. What did you think of Skeleton Crew? How do I put this? As a whole? What did you think of Skeleton Crew Season 1? We'll put it like that. Season 1. So the whole entire season. What did you think of the entire Skeleton Crew series? Did you love it? Did you like it? Were you like, meh, I mean, it's all right? Or did you hate it? Hopefully nobody hated it, but we'll see. What did you think of Skeleton Crew as a whole? The entire series of Skeleton Crew. And we will rank it with the rest of the shows in just a second, but I want to see where you guys are at with this. And I missed a couple super chats, so let me go back to them. Another Mike who loves Star Wars with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that, Mike. I really, really do. Says, Mike, you were spot on with predicting Order 66 flashbacks with Jod learning from Nina Nawood. I was wrong with my prediction. Great job. Well, I was right and I was wrong. I thought we would be getting an Order 66 flashback. I never really thought that the character of Nina Nawood would be real, which kind of contradicts my own theory. So I was right and I was definitely wrong. I was wrong time and time again in Skeleton Crew throughout the show. Yeah. Okay, sorry. It's really hard when your job is to wake up on a Saturday morning, get ready for a 2 p.m. live stream, and your voice is just gone, chat. It's really hard to do, okay? God. This is my like 5th cup of tea already. God, it was too hot. It was too hot, chat. Damn it. God. Okay. But having said that, I was wrong quite a bit throughout Skeleton Crew. But I will say, as a whole, as a chat, as a community, we were pretty spot on week in and week out with what's to come next in Skeleton Crew. I mean, every week for at least the first 5 or 6 episodes, we were pretty spot on with what was coming next. It was pretty good. Yeah. It was pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. God, I'm going in for an. I don't even know what I'm doing here, chat. I'm just going to go burn my tongue again. Okay. But I appreciate it, Mike. I really, really do. Memberships, super chats, keep the lights on over here, so I appreciate it. Darth Lopez, what is up? Since I was here before 1,000 subs. I think you were, Darth Lopez. I think you actually were. But I appreciate you being here. Yeah. But here's the deal. I was sent a bunch of DMs about this character of Nina Nawood being played by Haley Webb being a real deal. And it wasn't. Even though this deleted scene did exist of John's master, she's not even played by Haley Webb. Like, we were so far off. The people who were contacting me were so far off. It's great because now I know who not to trust, but even still, with this character being real, with this deleted scene being real, we were still far off. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? The real problem is there's no conclusion for John's story of what happened. Well, yes and no. I think they left it open-ended so that we could eventually see his character again. You know? Lowdown says, I was wrong about Neil's dad being important in anything. Yeah, well, that's what always happens with these shows. You see a side character that you're like, oh, that character looks cool, like Neil's dad. And you're like, maybe he has some importance. He must be important. There is no way that this cool-ass character can't be important, right? It was the same thing with Tack Rennet. Tack Rennet is supposed to be the coolest, most badass pirate in the galaxy, and we didn't even get to see his face, really. Like, even the hologram, we didn't get to see his face. The supervisor, everybody wanted him to be some important character. Didn't happen. Even before the show started, we wanted that masked bounty hunter to be somebody important. It was just Jod. Okay, that wasn't as bad. That wasn't as bad. Inquisitor flashback would have been sick, though. That's true. That is true. If we got to see this character right here get chopped down by an Inquisitor, or even Vader, but more likely an Inquisitor, it would have been awesome. Yeah, it would have been pretty cool. Okay. Oh, sorry. That's the chat. Say hi to yourselves, chat. Say hi to yourselves. See that? Say hi to yourselves. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Say hi to yourselves, chat. Before I take it away. Yeah! Why is tea so hot? I just want to drink it. And then it just burns my life away. Ahsoka Tano is burning me today. Okay. Let me get to this super chat that I missed. All right, say hi to yourselves. You're going away. Okay. The Mind of Lucas. Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate it. With a very generous $5 holla, third ever super chat. I appreciate it. Says she has a Padawan braid in that picture. How could she be the person that trains Jod? Well, that would make the most sense. If it's post Order 66, the only likelihood of her surviving would be that her master sacrifices herself to save her. So the fact that she does have this Padawan braid going on here would make sense. Yeah. It would. Because that would mean that her master saved her and she survived because of that. Yeah. Indeed. Jessica says, I think they've done a great job with the Skeleton Crew. They've brought in a new generation of kids to grow up with, like Ahsoka and Omega, with the magic and wounded. Oh, leaving us with what ifs and theories. Love it. Bring on season 2. All right, give me a 1 into the chat if you want a season 2 of Skeleton Crew. Give me a 2 if you say no. What do we think? 1, yes. 2, no. Tell me what you think.
This is where the fun begins.
What do we think, chat? And then, without further ado, let's get into this this ranking, shall we? This ranking of all the shows. I tried to put them in order really quickly, but I didn't really get that far. So I'm gonna need your help, chat, on what comes out when, and how we put these in order. But let's see. Let's see. Look at all those ones. Okay, so it does seem from the outside perspective of a Star Wars fan, looking in, it does seem like the Star Wars fandom does want a second season of this. Actually, put up a poll in the community tab here. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's see. Yeah. So even this poll, which has over almost 1,400 likes, votes, sorry. It says 77% of you say yes to 23% saying no for a second season of Skeleton Crew. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty dang cool. And although they didn't really set up a second season, they kind of did. I mean, there's going to be more of these characters. There's no way they didn't just set up these 4 great characters and not give us more of them. My only thing is, like, what would season 2 be about? You know? Like, I feel like it's more likely that these kids will just show up in something else later down the line, like a Mando movie or something. But hey, we'll see. We shall see. Yeah. Andy K with a very generous $2.79, oddly specific, but I appreciate it. Says, Noel needs respect, and I call it stay-at-home dad. There you go. Neil's dad was just a stay-at-home dad. I mean, it was weird that Neil's mom was so, like, on board with sending the coordinates out to the kids, but the dad wasn't really involved. Maybe he was taking care of the kids. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get to this ranking, shall we? All right, let's do this. So here's what we're looking at, chat. Here is what we are looking at. Oh, perfect. All right, here we go. So we got all the seasons. Actually, I take that back. We have most of the seasons of Star Wars shows. And we're going to rank them all. From all the way back to the Clone Wars, season 1 through 6, all the way to Skeleton Crew. So we're going through all of it. All right? Starting from earliest release to latest release, which is, of course, Skeleton Crew. But these are, like, sort of half in order. So I'm going to need you guys to help me with the release order of what comes out when as we go, okay? I put probably, like, the first 3 or 4 or 5 in order, but then we kind of get off topic there. Yeah. Oh, Gravified X with a very generous $10 holla. Holy crap. Hang on, let me read this. He just says, your channel is awesome. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Gravified X. I appreciate that quite a bit. $10 is extremely generous. I appreciate it. Well, let's dive into this ranking, shall we? Okay, so first up is Clone Wars. Now, I'm not going through every single season of the Clone Wars. I'm just splitting it up into season 1 through 6 and then season 7. Mouse Man, can I get a shout out? Mouse Man, what's up? Mouse Man! What is up, Mouse Man? There's your shout out. I literally shouted. Okay. So, starting with the Clone Wars season 1 through 6. Just season 1 through 6. Not 7. Season 1 through 6. Okay? Where do we put season 1 through 6? S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, or D tier, chat? Where does it go? Where does it go? Now, before I start, I understand that this is going to be different from the last tier list that we did, whatever it was, 6, 8 months ago after The Acolyte. Having rewatched some of these shows, it obviously puts it into a new perspective. So it's going to be different than what it was last time. Okay? Okay. So where does it go? I see a lot of A's, a C. Oh my God, some C's, a B, A, S or A, S, S. Wow. Okay. S or A. I'm thinking, here's the deal. Thinking I'm freaking losing my voice and it's pissing me off. I'm thinking, here's the deal. You got arcs like the Mortis arc. You got arcs like Darth Maul coming back with Savage and Maul and Savage versus Palpatine on Mandalore. You got the whole Mandalorians arc time and time again from season 2 to season 4 to season 5. You got a lot of really good stuff in the Clone Wars. Then you have your sort of just filler episodes, for lack of a better word, just your droid episodes and all that stuff. So it's some S tier, some C or even D tier. So it's almost like the in-between of all that stuff. Now, I think the majority is really, really great, and especially in seasons 3, 4, 5, 6, the back half are really, really great. So with that being said, I don't think it can get to that S tier because of those lower episodes, but I think I would put it at a very low A. I wouldn't go down to a B, but I'd put it at a low A, probably like all the way down here, and we're going to put that there for now. Low A, maybe high B. Low A, maybe high B. What puts it in the A is those really, really great stories. It's the Mortis arc. It's the Mandalore stuff. It's the Maul stuff, because Maul is one of my favorite characters ever. It's the fact that Ahsoka is introduced and grows up through these 6 seasons, and Ahsoka is one of the greatest characters we've ever had. Ever. So, and of course, it's Anakin, Obi-Wan, Padme, Yoda. It's great. So for that reason, it's low A. All right? So next, and correct me if I'm wrong, next in release order is Star Wars Rebels Season 1. Yes? Yes? I believe it's Star Wars Rebels Season 1. Star Wars Rebels Season 1. Where do we rank it? Star Wars Rebels Season 1. What do we think, chat? The last 4 episodes of Clone Wars are A+. Well, Clone Wars Season 7 we haven't gotten to yet. Yeah. A, B, 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 C, C, C. Oh my God. A, B, C, C. Love the show, but C. Okay. B, 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 C, C, B. Okay. So you guys know me, and you know I'm a massive, and I mean massive, Star Wars Rebels fan. Massive. Inklet, what's up? But season 1 is undoubtedly the worst one. But with that being said, it's still not bad. It's necessary to set up all these characters, introduce you to these characters, but it does have the most filler episodes, again, for lack of a better word. But for those reasons, it's not on the same level as these 6 seasons of Clone Wars. It's just not. So for me, it's maybe mid B's, somewhere in there. It's not quite at that level. Now, the next couple seasons of Star Wars Rebels are a completely different story, but the first season alone is in that B tier. It's not C or D. It's not terrible, but it sets up what's to come next, and it's got some pretty cool stuff in there. I mean, you got the introduction of all these legendary characters, but it doesn't really get to where it is in the next couple seasons. So I think it's a solid B-ish, right in that middle of a B. But that brings us to Rebels Season 2, which I believe is next in release order. In Rebels Season 2, I mean, when you look at just the end of that show, The Twilight of the Apprentice, when you got Maul's return, Ahsoka's back, she's fighting Darth Vader, like that alone, Malachor 5, it's incredible. But when you look at the season as a whole, it is a lot better than Season 1. And by the end of it, it is peak Star Wars. Like, peak. Those last 2 episodes, part 1 and part 2 of Twilight of the Apprentice, are peak. Some of the greatest Star Wars content we've ever received. Maul and Ahsoka and Kanan Jarrus and Ezra versus Inquisitors. Then you go into Maul slicing Kanan's eyes. Then you go into Vader showing up and Vader versus Ezra. Vader versus Ahsoka. It's incredible. It's incredible. But having said that, it's not quite as good as season 3 and season 4. And the last 2 episodes can't carry the entire season. So that being said, I do not have it up in this S tier. The last 2 episodes are S tier for sure. The last 2 episodes are S tier. But I have it in the A. And I have it in the A over season 1 through 6 of the Clone Wars. So it's a little bit higher than Clone Wars season 1 through 6. Okay? I like how it starts off with all the animated shows first because they obviously came out first. But we do have to get to the live action ones eventually too. Walk-in Carpet G, what's up? Says, the great people who love Star Wars, you are all wizard. You are wizard. You are wizard. Okay. But Rebels Season 3. What do we think of Rebels Season 3? Rebels Season 3. Now, this is where Maul is more prevalent. Kanan has taken sort of a back seat because he's injured now. Ezra goes dark side for a little bit. Thrawn makes his first ever canon appearance, or first ever canon animated appearance, because he's got canon books, I guess. But Thrawn makes his first ever appearance in animation. You got Thrawn being all badass. You got the battle for Mandalore. You got the what the hell's the big moose's name? What the fuck's his name, Chad? What the hell? Why can't I think of his name? What's his name, chat? Oh my god, this is killing me. I think my brain is broken. The Bendu, thank you. The Bendu, holy crap. I think my brain just freaking broke. Chat, that's not a good sign. I think my brain is broken.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling about that. Okay. So, sorry. Season 3 of Star Wars Rebels. What do we rank it? Where do we rank it, chat? A, S all day. Okay. S, 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 A, high A's. Low S or high A. Okay. A, B, B, A. Low S, high A. Okay. I'm thinking the same thing. I think we're either very high A, like very, very high A, top of the top A, or we're low S. Honestly, because I love Maul, because I love Rebels, because I love Thrawn, I'm going low S. And if you don't think it's an S, well, go shove it. No, because Star Wars Rebels is so near and dear to my heart, because Thrawn is such an incredible character, because Maul is my 3rd favorite character of all time, because Ahsoka is not in this season, but she's, of course, in Star Wars Rebels, and she's my 2nd favorite character of all time. It's a low S. It is low S. Aaron says, I'm late. What are we ranking right now? Well, we're ranking all the Star Wars shows, but we're currently on Rebels Season 4 now. Rebels Season 4. Personally, my favorite season, of Star Wars Rebels. You have probably 3 or 4 episodes late in the season that are the peak of Star Wars. Like we talked about the Twilight of the Apprentice being peak. Season 4 is S tier, and there's not even a conversation about it. Just not even a conversation. Kanan's death, peak. World Between Worlds episode, peak. The finale of Ezra coming in, they all come together to save Lothal. He takes the Purgles, wraps them up in the Chimera, and they blast off into hyperspace, never to be seen until Ahsoka years and years and years later. Peak. It's an S, and it might be very, 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 very high S. Very high. Okay. But moving on, in release order, now we're going to have to fact check me here, because this is not in release order. So what comes after a Rebels Season 4, chat? Is it The Mandalorian? I don't think it is. I think Resistance might have come first. Chat, I'm going to really need your help moving forward here. It's Resistance next. Is it Resistance? Resistance is before Mando. Okay. Resistance is before Mando. All right. So Resistance is up next. Star Wars Resistance. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you, chat. Well, first of all, where do you put Resistance? Where do you rank Resistance on your list? For me, it's got to be D. And the only reason I'm putting it in D is because I haven't watched it yet. I know. It's crazy. Something Star Wars, I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet for a few reasons. One, just never gotten around to it. And two, I've heard it's not that good. So when I'm hearing it that a show's not good, I'm not really going to want to go watch it. Someday I will go sit down and watch Star Wars Resistance. Someday. But today's not that day. Yeah. So for now, it remains on the D tier. Someday, maybe it will move up, but I got to watch it. See, some people even say they like Resistance in the chat because Kylo Ren is in the show. I've heard season 2 is better than season 1. I've heard that. Yeah. People in this channel have inspired me to watch it. Honestly, they've inspired me to watch it, but I've never gotten around to it too. So I guess they haven't inspired me enough. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll just commit like tonight and watch it. It's only 2 seasons, right? How hard could that be? But having said that, Resistance has tied into other projects. There was characters from Resistance in Ahsoka, the senator that was like the douche senator from Ahsoka. Yeah. Fifth Element and Resistance Party, watch party? No. Fifth Element, watch Fifth Element first. I'm watching the Resistance before I watch Fifth Element. Resistance watch party? Maybe we have to at this point. Maybe we have to. Star Wars Order, what's up? Don't worry about it. A Star Wars watch party for Resistance every Tuesday until Andor? Oh, no. Oh, no, chat. All right, let's move on. Is the next show that releases The Mandalorian Season 1? I believe it is, right? Mando Season 1 is next. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Mando Season 1. Where do we rank Mando Season 1 on this list? Is it the lowest of the low with Resistance? Is it the highest of the Is it the highest of the high? Up here. Mando Season 1. Not Season 2, not Season 3. Mando Season 1. First season. A, easy S. High A. Interesting. A, S. Okay. Here's the deal, chat. The Mandalorian Season 1, as a show itself, is a lot like Skeleton Crew. It stands alone, doesn't need cameos, it doesn't need anything like that. It stands alone on its own and is an incredible show. Not only that, it introduces us to the characters of Din Djarin and Grogu, who have quickly become fan favorite characters. I mean, look down, Grogu's on your shirt right now, I can guarantee it. And yes, he's on my shirt today, too. So, they become fan favorite characters. What The Mandalorian has done for the Star Wars fandom cannot be understated. After the sequel trilogy, and who cares if you like the sequels or you don't, it doesn't matter. You can't deny that the sequel trilogy divided the Star Wars fandom greatly. It's like The Acolyte. I love The Acolyte, but you can't deny that The Acolyte divided the Star Wars fandom greatly. And don't you worry, we'll get to The Acolyte. Wait, is The Acolyte not on here? I'll add it later. Okay. But you can't deny that the sequel trilogy did not divide the Star Wars fandom. And The Mandalorian came out actually during the time of Rise of Skywalker, and kicked off live-action Star Wars shows incredibly. And for that reason, it deserves S tier. And for the content itself, it's a really good season. It's a really good season. But with that being said, it deserves an S tier. I think it's probably low S tier. It's definitely not higher than Rebel Season 4. But is it higher than Rebel Season 3? I'm going to put it below Rebel Season 3. Low S tier, but still S tier nonetheless. It deserves that S tier spot. Yeah. It's a great start to a show, but it's not the best season of that show. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Next, I believe it's the Clone Wars Season 7. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm thinking back, I remember Mando Season 1 is at the end of 2019. And Clone Wars Season 7 is May of 2020. Yes? Chat? Yes? Chat? I'm going to need your guys' help going on from here on out. So, yeah. Clone Wars Season 7 is next, yes? Okay. Clone Wars Season 7. We talked about Clone Wars Season 1 through 6, but Clone Wars Season 7, where do we rank that? Just the 7th season. Just the 7th season. Should we zoom in on this a little bit more? Whoa, that's too far. How's that? Is that better? Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. Season 7. SSSAC. Oh my God. C tier, Joe? SAAS. Okay. So, Season 7 of Clone Wars is an interesting conversation to have. You have one of the greatest arcs of all time, which is the Siege of Mandalore. You have the introduction of the Bad Batch. But then you have this middle arc with the Martinez twins. Martinez sisters, not twins, sorry. Sisters. And it feels so out of place. It feels like a filler, for lack of a better word, filler arc in Season 1 through 6. So it kind of makes sense that it's in Season 7. It stays on target. Stay on target with the rest of the Clone Wars show. But even with that arc, even with that, the Siege of Mandalore is the single greatest Clone Wars arc. And it deserves an S tier. Now, where in S tier becomes the question. Is it better than The Mandalorian Season 1? Ooh, that is tough. Is it better than Rebels Season 3? This is interesting. Where in S tier does it belong? What do we think? Where in S tier? What do we think? The Battle of Ad-Aden is the best battle in Star Wars canon, hands down. Wow, that's some high praise. That is some high praise. I mean, you got the Battle of Yavin, you got the Battle of Endor. I think those would probably beat it, but it's definitely not better than Mando. Interesting. Okay. It's last on that list. I think it's number 1. Wow. Siege of Mandalore puts it on S tier, but the other 2 arcs make it low S tier. I agree with that. All right, I'm going to put it at the bottom of S tier because of the first 2 arcs of the season. Not that they're bad, but Siege of Mandalore is top of the top. It's one of the best arcs. So it puts it in S tier alone. It's sort of the first parts of the season that put it below the rest of these S tier numbers. Yeah. The Battle of Scarif too, yeah. That's true too. I agree with this. I like this spot a lot, actually. All right. Moving on next, if I remember correctly, later in 2020, we had The Mandalorian Season 2, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. But The Mandalorian Season 2 came out in late 2020 after the Clone Wars Season 7. So Mando Season 2. Where do we put Mando Season 2 on this list? Yeah, I don't think this one's even a conversation. It's the top of the top. There's only a handful of Star Wars arcs, individual arcs, like the Siege of Mandalore, like the Twilight of the Apprentice. There's only individual arcs that even come close to competing with the entirety of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Season 2 of The Mandalorian is so unbelievably good from start to finish. It's insanity. Yes, you have maybe 2 filler episodes, if you can even call them that. The one with the Frog Lady and the one with Bill Burr. But even the one with Bill Burr is a necessity, and you get Bill Burr in Star Wars again. So, hang on, Chad, I gotta blow my nose. Hang on.
This is where the fun begins.
Okay, so The Mandalorian Season 2 gives you everything. Everything you could possibly imagine as a Star Wars fan. You got Luke Skywalker showing up at the end. But even before that, you got Ahsoka, who gives us Grogu's name. Gives us Grogu's freaking name. And it's Ahsoka's first ever live action appearance. You got Boba Fett. Boba Fett's return since 1983 when he fell into the Sarlacc pit. 1983? Yeah, 83, I'm right. 83 when he fell into the Sarlacc pit. Bo-Katan's first live action appearance. Like, that season from start to finish is incredible. He goes to sit on the Seeing Stone on Tython. Chat? There's very little or very few Star Wars projects that even contend with The Mandalorian Season 2. And spoiler alert, I have one show that's ahead of it on this list. But we'll get to that. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Yeah. Oh, and the seismic charge, of course. Yes, seismic charge comes back to The Mandalorian Season 2. The more and more you look at it, the better and better it gets. So it's the top of the top for now. For now. Okay, what's next? Is it The Bad Batch Season 1? The Bad Batch Season 1 came out in May of 2021. Was there nothing in between Mando Season 2 and The Bad Batch? Chat? What do we think? Cole says, I know what it is, and you're wrong in the nicest way possible. Well, thank you for that. But I'm right. Sid is an S-tier character? Oh, my God. Star Wars Order's just trying to make me mad. Yes, The Bad Batch is next. Okay, so The Bad Batch Season 1. Oh, that's Season 2. Hang on. Is this Season 1? Yeah, this is Season 1. The Bad Batch Season 1. Where do we rank Bad Batch Season 1? S tier? C? S? B? Interesting. B minus? A? A? Camino's Lost is a top entertainment. That's true. The finale. Here's the thing. The Bad Batch is 16 episodes. Each season is 16 episodes. Actually, one of the seasons might not be 16. Whatever. But it's 16 episodes. The first episode, the premiere of The Bad Batch Season 1, is a masterpiece. It's about 2 hours long, or an hour and a half. It's really, really long. It's like a full-on freaking movie. But you get Kanan Jarrus, or Caleb Doom at the time. You get Order 66. You get all this stuff with The Bad Batch. Introduction of Omega. The premiere is incredible. But then you sort of get a Rebels Season 1 or a Clone Wars Season 1 type deal, where it's filler episodes and just filler arcs and all this stuff. So for me, The Bad Batch is a great show, all 3 seasons, but the first season's probably the worst one. And that doesn't mean it's bad, but it's the worst one in my opinion. After that premiere, it goes downhill quickly. And it comes back towards the end, like the finale's really, really good. And Crosshair's arc is really, really good. For those reasons, it's not even in the conversation for S, but it is in the conversation for A/B here. Is it better than the Clone Wars Season 1 through 6? I don't think so. So it's definitely low A, but is it high B? I would put it over Rebels. I definitely put it over Rebels Season 1. But I think that's where I put it. Right there. High B. I think that's where I put it. The premiere is really, really good, but the rest of the season is just, average, I guess. And a lot of that's because, yeah, we're putting it there. A lot of that's because it has to set up these characters. Like, same conversation we had with Rebels Season 1. They have to set up these characters. They're brand new characters, pretty much. Other than their arc in Clone Wars Season 7. Standing on that S hill. Well, a lot of people really, really love The Bad Batch, really love those characters. So they put it a lot higher. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine with me. But this is my list. My list, damn it. And that's where The Bad Batch goes. Okay. Next. So now we're in 2021, right? So 2021 had The Bad Batch, and then it had Star Wars Visions. When was Visions Season 1? When did Visions Season 1 release, chat? Visions Season 1. Somebody look it up. Actually, I'll look it up. Somebody look it up. I got to add the Acolyte to this list. The Acolyte. Okay. Shit, do I have to restart? Oh, no. Wait, what? Oh. Hang on. So when was the first season of Visions released? Okay, perfect. This is not good, chat. Not in order at all now. All right, whatever. So Vision season 1 was September of 2021. Okay, so it was. So right. Okay, so Vision season 1 is next. Vision season 1. Where do we put Visions season 1, chat? I think that's right. Where do we put Vision season 1? I think Visions season 1 and 2 are going to be probably the most divided things. I see a bunch of A's, some C's, some D's, some S's. Here's the thing. You either really, really love anime and you really, really love this style of Star Wars, or you don't. So you're either going to really, really love these what ifs or I guess legend stories of Star Wars in this anime fashion, or you're not. And here's the deal. For me, yes, there's really great episodes of Visions, specifically season 1, episode 1, Ronin. It's incredible. But you have like the Ninth Sister. Was it the Ninth Sister or Ninth Jedi? Something like that. The Old Man one. You had some really, really good episodes. But you also have some really bad. I forget what the one on Tatooine is, but the one with the band, like that's no, I'm not here for it. Also, if you know me, you know I'm a big canon guy. As much as I love some Legends stories like the Plagueis novel or the Bane trilogy, a lot of the Old Republic stuff, the Thrawn, Heir to the Empire stuff, the Fate of the Jedi stuff, there's some really good Legends material, obviously. But I love canon. I like knowing what's going on in the timeline, knowing canon stories, everything that fits into this timeline perfectly, canon stories. And for those reasons, it's just not for me. And I put it at, it's not D level. It's still got good content in it, but I put it as our first C of the day. If I'm ever going back to rewatch Star Wars, Visions is at the bottom of the list. Like it's not even in conversations. I'd watch every single other show on this list, probably even Resistance, before I went back to watch Star Wars Visions. And for those reasons, it sits at a C, and it's our first C of the day. Okay, so we're in September of 2021. I believe that puts us next at the end of the year. December 2021 is Book of Boba Fett, right? So Book of Boba Fett is next. Give Miggs Mayfeld his own show? I doubt that. But Book of Boba Fett. Where do we rank Book of Boba Fett on this list? Now, this is going to be really, really interesting. Because Book of Boba Fett is a very divided topic amongst Star Wars fans. You either really like it because of those Mando episodes and you like Boba Fett, or you really hate it for what it did to Boba Fett's character. They turned him from a bounty hunter, badass, brutally murdering bounty hunter, to this wants to protect everybody guy, sort of softish character. And some people didn't really like that. Even though he went through a near-death experience, he had to crawl his way out of the Sarlacc pit. He learned from the Tusken Raiders. He had this whole backstory thing that happened that explains his sort of change of heart, but still fans didn't want to see that. They had this 40-year idea of Boba Fett in their heads that they wanted to see this badass bounty hunting guy come back. And that wasn't him. He's changed because of this near-death experience that he had. And like I said, we see a lot of mixed opinions here. I got some D's, some C's, but some A's and some B's as well. So we're all over the place. We are all over the place for Book of Boba Fett. Here's the deal. It's almost a very similar conversation to a Rebel Season 2. It has one of the greatest episodes of Star Wars ever. And that is episode 6, episode 6, From the Desert Comes a Stranger. From the Desert Comes a Stranger is one of, if not the greatest episode of Star Wars television ever. It's definitely top 3, hands down. And it might be number 1. You could argue it. It's got Cad Bane's first ever live action appearance. It's got Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple as he's training Grogu in the ways of the Force. It's got Order 66 flashback. It's got Ahsoka Tano. It's got Ahsoka and Luke talking. So Anakin's son and Anakin's Padawan talking. It's got Din Djarin and the M1 Starfighter. It's even got Boba Fett in it. It's got everything. It's got everything. It is one of the best episodes of all time. Adam, what's up? So, with that being said, it immediately puts it up in the conversation. Now, I don't think it's an S tier show. No, it's not even, not even close. But I will say it's better than Rebel Season 1. I will say it's better than Bad Batch Season 1. And I think it's in this conversation right here. Is it better than Clone Wars Season 1 through 6? Certain episodes are, yes. But I think it goes there. I think it goes the bottom of A. Bottom of A. Yeah. I mean, the episode before that with the N1 Starfighter is incredible. The finale's really, really good too. Yeah, I think that's where it deserves to be. Okay, but now we are in 2022. And I believe 2022 starts off with the Bad Batch Season 2, chat? It's not better than Rebels. It's not better than all seasons of Rebels, no. It's only better than Rebels Season 1. Only better than Rebels Season 1. Yeah. That is freaking ice cold tea. Gross. Okay. Okay. All right. I believe next is Bad Batch Season 2, right? Okay. Bad Batch Season 2. What do we think? Where do we put it? The Bad Batch Season 2. This was, of course, the tragic end of Tech. Now, it's almost like the Bad Batch is a New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. In a way. The Bad Batch Season 2 ends on a extreme low. Like extreme low. But where do we put it? A, B, low B, A, S, 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 high B, A. Here's the deal. I know a lot of people really, really love this second season. I like it a lot, but it's not anywhere close to me, anywhere in the vicinity of Season 3. Like Season 3 of The Bad Batch is a peak season of Star Wars content. Season 2 is not that. Yes, the finale is really, really good. It's got that big cliffhanger ending. It's fantastic. It's great. But it's not as good as Season 3, sorry. And the first sort of 15 and a half episodes are not nearly as good as Season 3. I think it's very similar to Season 1 with a better ending. And the 2 episodes of Crosshair with Commander Cody and Crosshair's redemption are incredible. So for those reasons, I definitely have it in the A tier. Is it better than Book of Boba Fett? That's tough. It's not better than Rebel Season 3. It's not better than Mando Season 1 through 6. I mean, Clone Wars Season 1 through 6. But is it better than Book of Boba Fett? I'm gonna say... That's so tough. I'll go yes for now. I feel like it could go either way, depending on how much I'm loving that From the Desert Comes a Stranger episode. But I think as a full season, The Bad Batch is better. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Okay. So now we're in 2022, and I believe the next show is the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, correct? I think I got this pretty in order from here on out, but we'll see. The Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Where do we rank it? Obi-Wan Kenobi. The return of Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen after 17 years. The return of Darth Vader in the rematch of the century. Where do we put it? Another very divided one. Another very, very divided one. I see some S tiers. I see some D tiers. Holy crap, we're all over the place. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. All over the place with this one. Yeah, Kenobi's a strange one. It's a very, very strange one for sure. The lowest of D? Exactly. We got people saying high S to the lowest of low D. This is crazy. This is crazy. Look at the chat right now. There is every different option you could possibly imagine going on right now. Lowest of the low, highest of the high, middest of the mid. A mixed bag. Was Kenobi out before Ahsoka? Yes, it was. Yeah. Because it was in May during Star Wars Celebration, and then Ahsoka was later. Yeah. Ahsoka was actually a whole year later. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. Should we pull it up? All right, let's pull it up. I want to pull this up, actually. Let's pull it up. Why not? Why not, chat? Let's pull it up. So we got to end this other poll. Hang on. We got to end this other poll, which was, what did you think of Skeleton Crew as a whole? 62% of you loved Skeleton Crew. 62, yeah. 26% of you liked it. 5% hated it. Wow. 4% said meh with over 100 and whatever votes. That's pretty wild. Oh, Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $5 Hulla says number 1, The Mandalorian. Number 2, Andor. And number 3, honestly, might be Skeleton Crew. Love the list so far, Mike. Thanks, Darth Plagueis. I appreciate that quite a bit. Super chats are very, very generous. I appreciate it. That's not a bad list either. But Skeleton Crew at number 3 is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. We'll see when we get to Skeleton Crew where everybody else puts it. But we'll see. We'll see. But I appreciate it. All right, let's put up this poll. Where? And I can only do 4 options. So I'm going to do S, A, B, and C. We'll leave D out of it. Actually, no. I'll remove C and put D. So if you really hate it, we'll just put D. Okay. Where do you put Kenobi? S tier, A tier, B tier, and we're going to skip C for now, because if you hate it, you probably really hate it, or D tier. So I only get 4 options on this poll. This is pretty interesting. Oh, your pal Joe gifted a membership, and Carry On gets the membership. That's huge. Carry On has been around all the live streams lately, so I appreciate that quite a bit, Joe. Let's bring her into the people who love Star Wars, shall we? Carry On. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Carry On. I appreciate that, Joe. I really, really do. That is very, very generous. Okay. Right now, B is winning. B has 39%. Second place is A with 27%. Wow. Okay. B is in the lead. Kenobi didn't need to happen, so it's still hard to fully enjoy. It didn't need to happen, true, but I guess none of these shows needed to happen. Hey, to see Vader being badass taking down that ship, that was pretty cool. All right, well then let's talk about it. Let's talk about Kenobi for a second here, shall we? So the rematch of the century to me is a masterpiece. That finale is amazing, okay? They really knocked it out of the park with that. However, when you backtrack, episode 5, because that was episode 6, episode 5 is really good too. Okay? It had the Vader versus Reva, which was badass. Vader just tooling with Reva. And then Vader pulls the ship out of the sky, which is so damn cool. It also has the flashbacks to before the Clone Wars, where Obi-Wan and Anakin are training. But episode 4, I don't even remember episode 4. What was episode 4? Oh, episode 4 was the one where Obi-Wan sees Anakin, like, in the vision, maybe. Episode 3 is when he gets dragged through the fire, right? Yeah. So sort of the first couple episodes of that show, it's not perfect by any means. It's not S tier. But to me, it's not bad at all. Like, Kenobi is a good show. When you go back to watch a Star Wars show, whenever I'm looking to watch something, I'll go back and watch that finale all the time. It's incredible. The rematch of the century is awesome. It's what we've been waiting for. So I can't, in good conscience, after saying all that and thinking that, put it anywhere close to D or C. To me, it's B, probably high B or low A. Is the rematch of the century better than the Book of Boba Fett? Yes. But is the rest of the season better than the Book of Boba Fett? I don't know. Is it better than the Bad Batch season 2? Is it better than Clone Wars season 1 through 6? I don't think so. So it's sort of in this low A range to very high B range. To me. I loved Little Leia. Little Leia was great. The girl actress who portrayed her was really, really good. Yeah. Princess Leia was not needed. Princess Leia was extremely needed. Extremely needed for that show. Because something had to drag Kenobi off of Tatooine. And the only thing that could was Leia. Yeah. Vane was in it? What? Vane was in Kenobi? Have you gone over the deleted scene for Skeleton Crew? Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. Yeah. It's B, chat decided. All right, we'll go with the chat then. Because chat decided B, we'll go B. It's a very high B. I think, honestly, I'd put it low A. But because chat decided, as you can see here, chat decided B, 39%. 29% said A. 22% said D. And 10% said S. So we'll go B. We'll go B. Chat don't lie. The chat don't lie. All right, let's go back to this. Okay. So next, after Kenobi in May of 2022, we had in the fall of 2022 Andor. Andor season 1. Andor season 2 is the next Star Wars project, ladies and gentlemen. On May 22nd of 2025, this year is Andor season 2. But where do you rank Andor season 1? What do we think, chat? And I'm really interested to see where you guys are at with this, because most people who have seen Andor really love it, but not everybody watched it. So what do we think? Hang on, chat.
This is where the fun begins.
Andor season 1. What do we think? Here's the funny thing. I actually think Andor season 2 is going to be better than Andor season 1. I do. I do. So here's the thing. I see a lot of S's. I do. I see some A's. I see some B's, but I see a lot of S's. It's not better than The Mandalorian season 2. It's just not. To me, it's not better than Rebels season 4. I think it's better than Rebels season. I think it's better than Rebels season 3. I'm putting it right there. So Andor, fuck. So Andor, holy crap, chat. This is really pissing me off. I apologize for my voice today. Probably sounds like shit ass, but you know, we got to do what we got to do here. Andor, to me, Andor to me, the first 3 episodes are really slow. And it's what turned a lot of people away from Andor in the first place. The first 3 episodes, the premiere, was really, really slow. Does it ramp up from there? Yes. Are the characters incredible? Yes. Is Luthen one of the best characters of all time? Yes. Is the prison escape like one of the coolest arcs ever? Yes. I think season 2 will be better. I think by the time we get to June and July and we're doing this ranking list again, Andor season 2 will be higher than Andor season 1. I can almost guarantee it. But having said that, Andor season 1 stays right there. One of the best shows of all time, one of the best Star Wars shows of all time. But to me, being a massive Rebels fan that I am, it's not quite as high as Rebels season 4. It's just not. It's just not. Especially now, too, even like with Ahsoka. Rebels season 4 sets up Ahsoka so great. Like Andor season 1, it's a great story. It's the start of the rebellion, all that stuff. But it's not really connected to anything else except for Rogue One, I guess. You know? Yeah. And it's definitely not better than Mando season 2. Okay. And you also have to remember the viewership numbers for Andor were so low. And they knew that was coming. For some reason, Lucasfilm knew that Andor season 1 was going to have low numbers. And they knew that because they put Tales of the Jedi right in the middle of the season. Strange. But with that being said, where do you put Tales of the Jedi on this list? Tales of the Jedi, Ahsoka Tano, Count Dooku. Where do you put it? Let me remind you. Wow, I'm seeing all over the place here. SC? C, Joe? CWUV grad? What? BSC? Wow. Those are some low scores for this. Let me remind you how good Tales of the Jedi is. Maybe you're forgetting. Tales of the Jedi is 6 episodes, each episode ranging from about 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. And it might be some of the greatest storytelling we've ever seen in Star Wars in just 10 to 15-minute episodes. Count Dooku, one of the coolest characters from the prequel trilogy, gets an entire backstory explained in just 3 episodes. Ahsoka gets key parts of her story explained, where she goes after Order 66, how she ends up being Fulcrum in Rebels, but also how she survived Order 66. Tales of the Jedi has yet to get a second season. However, I do still think season 2 is coming. And season 1 is peak of all peak. It's an S tier without a doubt. But the question becomes, how good can a 6-episode show that only has 10 to 15-minute episodes be? How can it be better than Clone Wars season 7, better than Mando season 1, better than Rebels season 2 and 3, better than Andor, better than Rebels season 4, better than The Mandalorian season 2? No. But where? Where could it be? It's better than Andor? Oh my god. Best animation of Star Wars easily? It's in the conversation. Tales of the Jedi might be one of the best. Yeah. Yeah. You mean people like stuff for different reasons? Shocker. Someone tell the haters. The best part about this is obviously people are disagreeing with stuff where I'm putting it, but nobody's like crapping on me or crapping on each other in the chat for thinking that. So, appreciate you guys for being civil in the chat. I think it's behind Rebels season 2. Interesting. It's S tier for me, without a doubt. I think because of the shortness of it, because of the only 10 to 15-minute episodes, only being 6 episodes, I think I gotta put it low S tier. I don't know. I'm gonna put it there. I'm putting it there. I'm putting it there. Hands off the mouse. I'm putting it there. I'm putting it there. Okay? Okay. But after Tales of the Jedi, that ends 2022. Think about that. 2022 was crazy. It was most of the Book of Boba Fett. It was Bad Batch Season 2. It was Kenobi. It was Andor. and it was Tales of the Jedi. That's 5 major Star Wars projects in 1 year. Crazy. And they might not all be the peak of the peak, but they had Andor, which is an S tier. They had Tales of the Jedi, which is an S tier, an A tier, 2 A tiers in the same year, and a B tier. Pretty wild year 2022 was. Pretty wild year. Mike, what do you think about AI in Star Wars? Well, I mean, droids versus AI is a little bit of a conversation to have, you know? Thanks. This community knows how to disagree, LOL. Well, they know how to disagree with sort of respecting other people's opinions, you know? Some people might really, 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 really love Star Wars Visions, and I put it at a C. But I'm not like crapping on those people for liking it. We can respect each other's opinions, you know? All right. Next, I believe, is in 2023. Now we've hit 2023. But is it Star Wars Visions or is it Mando Season 3? Somebody's going to have to help me out. When did Star Wars Visions Season 2 come out? Chat? When did Visions Season 2 come out? I have no idea. That's why I'm asking. I have zero clue. Adam. May 4th of 2023. Okay, so it's after The Mandalorian Season 3 then? Yes? So Mando Season 3 is first. Okay. So I'm right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Mando Season 3. Where do we put Mando? Actually, wait. Shit, now I don't even know. Was it Mando Season 3 or Bad Batch Season 3 first? Wasn't there an overlap of these two shows for some weird reason? Hang on, chat. When did the Bad Batch Season 3 come out? Uh-oh. I don't even know. Well, the Bad Batch Season 3 was last year. No, I'm mistaken. I am wrong. The Bad Batch Season 3 was last year. Yeah, I'm way off. I am way off, chat. My fault. So it's Mando Season 3. Mando Season 3, yes. You're right. I'm wrong. You're right. Mando Season 3. Where do we put Mando Season 3? What do we think? So you're coming off the backs of Mando Season 1 being an S tier, Mando Season 2 being the top of the S tier. Mando Season 3, I don't think is S tier. I see a lot of B's, C's, some A's, S, okay. D. Had potential for an S, but execution was a B, okay. I think the same problem the Book of Boba Fett has is the same problem that The Mandalorian Season 3 has. A lot of people only remember the bad stuff. When you look at The Mandalorian Season 3, you probably remember Bo-Katan being the main focus, her just literally being handed the Darksaber, the episode with Jack Black and the rapper there, what is her name? Shit, I apologize. My brain's broken today. I don't remember her name. Chat? Lizzo, yes, thank you. Lizzo. Lizzo, Jack Black on that weird planet with the filler episode. You probably remember those things, right? Probably. What you probably don't remember is the Order 66 flashback, or maybe you do remember, but you're forgetting. You're neglecting. The Order 66 flashback to Keller and Beck saving Grogu. You're probably also forgetting the reclaiming of Mandalore, finishing a multi-decade-long arc of the Clone Wars. From all the way back in Clone Wars Season 2, when Mandalore was first introduced and the Mandalorian arcs began with Satine and Obi-Wan and Death Watch. From there, from Clone Wars Season 2 all the way to the Mandalorian Season 3 was this massive Clone Wars arc with the Darksaber and reclaiming Mandalore. All that came to an end when all the Mandalorians came together, which they never do because they were always in a constant civil war, come together to reclaim their home world of Mandalore, destroying the Darksaber and destroying the old ways of thinking, and coming together as one people to reclaim their home world, finishing off an entire arc that lasted over a decade since the Clone Wars Season 2. Not only that, it has one of the greatest action sequences in any Mandalorian show, which is that reclaiming Mandalore stuff. And I'll give you that the early parts of the season are sort of shaky, to say the least. But the finale, it reminds me so much of the Book of Boba Fett because it's got those 2-3 really good episodes. But the rest is sort of mid, I guess, for lack of a better word. And for that reason, I'm sort of here around this low A to maybe a high B. I think the rematch of the century in Kenobi is better than every episode in The Mandalorian Season 3, but The Mandalorian Season 3 as a whole is better than Kenobi. So I think we're high B, low A right now. So what do we think, Chad? High B or low A? Where should we put it? What do we think? On par with Boba and Kenobi? Yeah, it's in this conversation right here. In that sort of range right there. B. Okay, I see a lot of B's. We'll go high B. High B for Kenobi. I mean for book Mando Season 3. Mando Season 3 is high B. Sorry. Okay. Vision Season 2 is next. Vision Season 2. I'm going to be completely honest with you, chat. I couldn't, for the life of me, even tell you at all what happens in Vision Season 2. I watched it once, and the only time I ever watched it was when it was released. So for me, I put it with Season 1, or below Season 1 even, right there in C. I don't even remember it. I don't remember any of it at all. It's the same conversation we had about Season 1. It's not something I would ever go back to watch again. Some fans probably in the chat are going, Mike, I didn't even know there was a second season of Visions. Probably. Mike, I'd love to use this tier list too. Could you share it with us? Yeah, I'll share this tier list with the Discord. So if you are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. I will send this link to the Discord so you guys can make your own lists and then send them to the Discord. Yeah, I'll do that after the stream for sure. Yeah. But the same conversation about Vision Season 1. It's never something I'll go back to watch. I'd watch everything else on this list before it. And it's just forgettable. That's it. I'd honestly maybe even put it on the D tier. But I'll give it C for now. By the way, we are getting Vision Season 3 this year. So this year, at some point, we're getting Vision Season 3. I don't know. Maybe it'll be better. Who knows? Okay. Moving past that, later on in 2023 is Ahsoka Season 1, because it's confirmed to be Season 2. So Ahsoka Season 1. Oh, rank it in the chat. Rank it in the chat. Rank it in the chat. Why don't you? Hey, how about you rank Ahsoka in the chat? Chat. Let me get my voice back for this one. Ahsoka is the greatest Star Wars show we've received thus far, surpassing all others. Okay? Now, maybe you disagree with me, but I'll give you my pitch as to why, and maybe you'll disagree, and I don't really care. Ahsoka, from start to finish, just like The Mandalorian Season 2. Honestly, you could make an argument to me that I might agree with you that Mandalorian Season 2 is better than Ahsoka, but Ahsoka's my favorite. From start to finish, just like The Mandalorian Season 2, it is perfection. Not a single filler episode throughout the 8 episodes. Not a single one. And The Mandalorian Season 2 does have at least one, and that is the Frog Lady one. Not a single filler episode throughout the entire thing. It introduces all the live action variations of these Rebels characters. And of course, you guys know me, I'm a huge Rebels guy. So it was awesome seeing Ezra, Thrawn, Hera, Sabine, all those Chopper, Jason, all come to live action was incredible. Ahsoka is my second favorite character of all time behind, yeah, that's right, Anakin. We get the World Between Worlds sequence. The Shadow Warrior episode is the single greatest episode of Star Wars television ever. The only one that comes close is From the Desert Comes a Stranger, or the 2 episodes in The Mandalorian Season 2, which is The Jedi, where Ahsoka gets her first ever live action appearance, and The Rescue, which is Luke Skywalker's episode. So, Ahsoka, Shadow Warrior, is the single greatest episode of all time. Baylan Skoll, incredible new villain. Shin Hati, incredible new character. Morgan Elsbeth gets a huge sort of, I guess, explanation, I guess, for lack of a better word, exploration. Grand Admiral Thrawn's first ever live action appearance. You go to this brand new galaxy. Talk about adding on to the lore of Star Wars. A brand new freaking galaxy, which explains the Purgle, explains the Night Sisters. The Mortis gods are being alluded to. The Mortis freaking gods. And it sets up a perfect second season. It sets up Thrawn as the heir to the Empire. It is the Empire Strikes Back of Star Wars television. The Empire Strikes Back is my second favorite Star Wars movie ever, behind Revenge of the Sith. But The Empire Strikes Back works so well because it's the bad guys win, and it's a good cliffhanger for the 3rd episode. It's the perfect in-between. It's the perfect story, and that's what Ahsoka is. That's exactly what Ahsoka is. It sets up this Mando trilogy with Thrawn as the heir to the Empire, but it also gives you live-action variations of all those Rebels characters and tells you an incredible story about Ahsoka freaking Tano with Anakin in the World Between Worlds. Clone Wars flashbacks, Darth Vader, Anakin Force Ghost for the first time since 1983. It doesn't get better than this. At least it hasn't yet. It hasn't yet. But for those reasons, and maybe you still disagree with me, but Ahsoka is my favorite of all time. Yeah. Mike be like, let's rank all of these together, and then no. Yeah. This is my ranking list. You guys can make your own. Obviously, I'll send this link to the Discord, but this is my list. I'm giving you guys the ability to put inputs in on all these other ones, but for this Ahsoka one, it's not even close. It's the top of the top for me. Maybe it's different for you, but for the reasons I just screamed on the top of my lungs that I could, but that I barely can use, that's why. From start to finish, it is the single best season of television I've ever watched. Is it partially because I'm a huge Rebels fan? Probably. Is it because Anakin and Ahsoka are my 2 favorite characters? Yeah. So what? It's the same reason that any other one of these shows is your favorite. Probably. Okay, moving on. So Ahsoka season 1 is over and done with. Next on the list, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is The Bad Batch. I feel like we're missing a show here. Was there really nothing between Ahsoka and The Bad Batch season 3? I feel like we're missing something here. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, whatever. Bad Batch season 3. Where do we put it? Where do we put it? The Bad Batch season 3 to me is the single greatest season of The Bad Batch. And it's like not even close. I think season 1, where do we put it? At a B. I think season 1 was a really good start. Season 2 is at an A. It's a really good middle, but this is a perfect finish. Season 3 is the perfect finish. It has the Project Necromancer, Palpatine, not Mortis, Mount Tantus. Omega's arc in it is incredible. The ending, of course, of the flash forward to when she joins the rebellion and the Bad Batch are all old because of the accelerated aging. It's great. Crosshair's redemption arc, spectacular. It's got the least amount of filler episodes of the 3 seasons. It still has filler episodes. It's still a Star Wars animated show. It's still going to have filler episodes, but it has the least amount from the 3 seasons. It's incredible. And yes, as Fearless says, Crosshair survived. The entire season, I was saying that they're all going to die by the end. None of them died, except for Tekken Season 2. But none of them died. But with that being said, they're really, last year, we had a lot of great stuff happen with the channel. We went from 5,000 subscribers to over 100,000 subscribers. It was incredible. Nothing beat it. But it was the Bad Batch Season 3 that kicked off the year on the right note. The amount of fun we had with those Bad Batch watch parties and week-to-week speculation with the Bad Batch. Shout out to you guys. Give me a 1 to the chat if you were here for that. That can't be beat. The amount of fun I had with the Bad Batch Season 3 and how good it was, it's S tier. And I don't even think it's a conversation about it being S tier. It's more of a conversation as to where it is in the S tier. Is it better than Rebels Season 4? I don't think so. Is it better than Andor? I don't think so. Is it better than Rebels Season 3? Now things get interesting. Is it better than Rebels Season 3? Is it better than The Mandalorian Season 1? Is it better than Clone Wars Season 7? Is it better than Tales of the Jedi? I think it's better than Tales of the Jedi. I think it's better than Clone Wars Season 7. But is it, look at all the OGs in the chat. You love to see that. But is it better than Mando Season 1? Is it better than Rebels Season 3? What do we think? Bad Batch is number 1 for you? Like number one, all the way up here? That's crazy. You'll love to hear that. So is it better than Mando Season 1, Chad? It is. Oh, it's not better than Mando Season 1. Is it better than Mando Season 1? Not better than Mando Season 1? Okay. Trying to run through the 2 seasons in my head right now. Is it better than Mando Season 1? Is it better than Mando Season 1? It's close. It's close as fuck. It's very close. I think this is sort of the line right here. Is it better than Mando Season 1? Is it worse than Mando Season 1? It's definitely better than Clone Wars Season 7. 100%. By the way, chat, that makes this in my personal opinion, the 3rd best season of Star Wars content we've ever seen. How about that? The Bad Batch Season 3 is the 3rd best, in my opinion, season of Star Wars content we've ever seen. And honestly, the argument can be made that it's better than Rebels Season 3, but I think it's not. I'm putting it right there. I'm putting it right there. That's a good spot. That's a good spot. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, moving on. Tales of the Empire. So right after Bad Batch Season 3 ended, we got Tales of the Empire sort of as a dessert for the Bad Batch. So it was about a week after, I believe. And we got Tales of the Empire. Now, Tales of the Empire is no Tales of the Jedi. We'll put it that way. But even that is hard to accomplish. Tales of the Jedi is an S-tier project. And it's about Ahsoka and Count Dooku, 2 major Star Wars characters. Tales of the Empire focuses on Barazofi and Morgan Elsbeth. Not even in the same realm as Ahsoka and Dooku as important characters in the Star Wars timeline. However, with that being said, it's definitely not a D. It's not a C even. But the conversation now becomes, is it A or is it B? And where does it reside in here? Because yes, it's about 2 sort of minor characters, Barazofi and Morgan Elsbeth, but the story themselves are still really, really good. We got another look at Grievous and the massacre on Dothamir. We got the story behind the TIE Defenders with Grand Admiral Thrawn and Morgan Elsbeth. But where do you put Tales of the Empire? Low B at best. Low B, A, B, D. I think I agree with you guys. I think it's a B tier. But is it better than these projects? Is it better than The Mandalorian Season 3? I don't think so. Is it better than Kenobi? No, probably not. Is it better than The Bad Batch Season 1? Is it better than Rebels Season 1? I don't know. It's got some really great stuff in there. I think it's sort of right in this mix right here. Definitely better than the 2 seasons of Visions. Behind both of them? Okay, we'll go with what you guys say. We'll go with what you guys are saying. I think I'd argue that maybe it's better than a few of these things, but I like that spot. I like it. I like it. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Oh, God, here we go. The Acolyte. Where do we rank it? The Acolyte Season 1. Dare I say. Season 1. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be so interesting that I'm actually going to put up a poll in the chat. We're going to end this one about Kenobi. I'm very, very intrigued to see the divide on this one. Where do you rank the Acolyte? We're going to do the same thing as we did for Kenobi. We're going to put an S tier. We're going to put an A tier. We're going to put a B tier. We're going to put a D tier. We're going to skip C. Because it's either people who really, really loved it or people who really, really hated it. And I feel like we're not going to really have a line in between, but let's find out. I see a lot of Fs in the chat, a Z. I see some As, an S, okay. Top S, my favorite Star Wars project ever. Holy crap. That is very high praise. Low B, high C, A, B, A. Interesting. Another Mike who loves Star Wars says, gotta run. Oh, no worries. Have fun. A, Acolyte is A and Skeleton Crew is S for me. Okay, we'll get to it. But I appreciate it. All right, seeing how D is winning on this poll right now, I got a feeling that y'all are going to be pretty upset with where I put the Acolyte. But hey, I'm not here to make you guys happy. I mean, I guess that's my job, isn't it? But I'm not here to make you guys happy. Let me remind you of how good the Acolyte was. And I know already you guys are like, what? No, Mike. Okay, tell me your argument in the chat. Tell me your argument in the chat as to why you do or do not like the Acolyte. Okay? Okay. Here's the deal. The Acolyte to me, and I understand not liking Leslie Headland. I understand not looking at the interviews from the cast and crew and being like, ew, what? I get that. When you look at the content itself, when you look at the show itself, it not only gives you a 150 years before the prequel trilogy great story of the Jedi and Sith, but it introduces a brand new cast of characters that are incredible. One of my single favorite characters in the Disney era of Star Wars, actually, no, not even Disney era, the Star Wars ever, is Chimere. And what's funny to me is Chimere it's not even his name. It's not even his name. His name is the Stranger because we don't know his name, but it's the same thing about John Nanawood. We got two of the best new Star Wars characters ever introduced in 2024, and we don't know either of their names. Because John Nanawood, I can guarantee you, is not his real name. And neither is Chimere. Master Soul, incredible. Li Zhang Jia, I apologize if I mispronounced his name, but incredible. Of course, you had the massacre in episode 5. But here's the thing. Episode 5 is undoubtedly, and even the people who don't like the Acolyte agree with me when I say this, is undoubtedly the best lightsaber duel we've had since 2005. It is. The whole forest, it's a whole episode, whole 45 minutes of just incredible lightsaber sequences. It's incredible. And the finale has a great lightsaber fight as well. So the lightsaber combat is incredible. To me, the story itself is incredible. The two twins, one's a good guy, one's a bad guy. They switch. One becomes the Acolyte of the Sith. The whole fall to the dark side of Osha throughout the entire season is amazing. But you also get Darth Plagueis. You also get your Yoda. You also get all this other cool stuff. I know it's going to anger a lot of you, but that's perfectly fine. But that's why we have this community that can disagree with each other and still live to see another day. But to me, the Acolyte is not quite the S tier. And the reason for that being a lot of different things, but it's not quite the S tier for me because, well, it's not getting a second season, and obviously that doesn't affect the first season, but a lot of the outside conversation about the Acolyte it's the same thing we talked about with The Mandalorian Season 1. The Mandalorian Season 1, what it does for the future of Star Wars content is what puts it in the S tier. The story itself might be A, but it's in S because of that what it does for the rest of the Star Wars community. The Acolyte's almost the exact opposite situation. I love the Acolyte, but what it did for the Star Wars community actually brings it down. So for me, is it better than the Book of Boba Fett? Yes. Is it better than the Bad Batch Season 2? Yes. Is it better than the Clone Wars Season 1 through 6? I don't think so. I think it's there. That's where the Acolyte is for me. When you talk about going back to watch specific things, if I'm ever sitting down to watch something Star Wars and I want to see something awesome, badass, cool lightsaber fight, I'm going to watch Episode 5 all day long. Episode 5 of The Acolyte, 10 times out of 10 if I'm feeling lightsaber duels. 100%. I'll watch the whole episode through. It'll be badass every time. When he snaps Yorn's neck, I'll go, what the? When he stabs Jecki in the chest 3 times, I'll still be shocked. I'll still be shocked. It's just badass. I mean, there's nothing about it. It's got the serious tone. It's got the bad guy. I mean, you know me. I love a good bad guy. And it's got the best bad guy we've seen in decades. Or a decade, I guess. Yeah. Okay. And last but certainly not least, the latest show that we just finished last week, Skeleton Crew. Where do we put Skeleton Crew on this list? What do we think, chat? S tier? Low S? Got to be top of A at least. Interesting. Low B, B, S, B, A. Wow, we are all over the place with this. All right, I'm going to put this up in a poll because this is the final project of the day. And I want to see where we're at. I want to see where we're at, chat. Where do you rank Skeleton Crew? A. Oh, sorry. S, A, B, or D? I know I'm skipping C. I get it. But I only get 4 options. Okay. Where do we rank Skeleton Crew? A. I see a lot of A's, some S's. Some people really, really love this show. It is really interesting because I'm still on the Skeleton Crew high. Really on the Skeleton Crew high. It's very similar to the Mandalorian Season 1. I go back to that Mandalorian Season 1 because it doesn't have any cameos in it, other than, I guess, Vane. But it doesn't need any cameos to support the show. It's a great story on its own. The 4 kids did an incredible job acting-wise. Jude Law is incredible. Jod Nah-Dawit is a great new character in Star Wars. We're going to watch these kids' future with great interest, as the great Palpatine once said, because they're such cool new characters. It's a very Mando Season 1-esque season, while also being a very Clone Wars type season as well, because they're introducing all these new characters for future stories. It's also kind of Rebels Season 1-esque too. But where do we rank it? Where do we rank it? I'm very interested to see where this poll goes. Holy crap. Take a look at this poll. 51% of you guys, 51, over half, say S tier. Second is A with 30%. B is 20%, and D has 0%. 50% of you guys say S tier. Now, here's the deal. When you look at this, you got to say, well, what is it better than? What is it better than? Is it better than the Book of Boba Fett? Yes. Is it better than Bad Batch Season 2? Yes. Is it better than The Acolyte? Some may argue no, but I'll say yes. Is it better than the Clone Wars Season 1 through 6? Yes. Is it better than Rebels Season 2? Other than the last 2 episodes? Probably not. But, I mean, the last 2 episodes, it's not better than Twilight of the Apprentice, but it's better than the rest of the season. So, yes. So, is it low A, or is it better than Tales of the Jedi? Is it better than the Clone Wars Season 7? Is it better than Bad Batch Season 3? Sorry. Bad Batch Season 3. Is it better than The Mandalorian Season 1? I think this is the conversation. Is it very low S around this area, or is it very, very high A? And honestly, I'm going to do what I did with Kenobi. I'm going to go with your votes, which is S tier. So the question becomes, is it better than Tales of the Jedi? Tales of the Jedi is really hard to place because it's only 6 episodes, because it's only talking about Dooku and Ahsoka. It's such a short show. Is it better than Clone Wars Season 7? Well, the Siege of Mandalore, no. But the rest of the season? Maybe. You have it all the way up here? Oh my God, that's crazy. I think it might be better than Clone Wars Season 7. I think it's got to stop here. I don't think it's better than the Bad Batch Season 3. I just don't think it is. I think this is where it belongs. I think this is the home we found, chat. After that, after 8 episodes of Skeleton Crew, we've secured it at S. Let's take a gander at our list, shall we? Honestly, chat, we made quite the list here. And here's the deal. Yes, we're a big, positive Star Wars community. We really, really love Star Wars. The whole reason we're here is because my name is freaking a guy who loves Star Wars, and we're the people who love Star Wars. So obviously, it's going to look like this where the majority of the love is at the top. But when you look at this, first of all, other than this right here, other than season 1 through 6 of the Clone Wars, everything on this list is Disney Star Wars. So for those people out there that say Disney ruined Star Wars, Disney Star Wars is trash, all those things that I hear all the time in the comment sections of my videos, I urge them to look at this. Maybe you disagree with a few. Maybe you don't think The Acolyte's as good as it may be. Maybe you don't like the Book of Boba Fett as much as it is. Maybe you're not a big anime guy or animation guy. So you put this all the way down. Whatever. You got to agree with some of it. You got to agree with it. Skeleton Crew above the Clone Wars? Yes. 100%. Is it better than the Siege of Mandalore? Absolutely not. But as a whole, with the Martinez sisters, with the Bad Batch first arc, it is better. Yeah. Yeah. And that's incredible. When you look at this, I mean, you look at the last couple years of Star Wars content, you look at since 2019, which is where the majority of this content exists, you got S tier, 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 S tier. Like, that's incredible. And it's not like it's a huge fall off from there either, because it's A tier, A tier, A tier, A tier, A tier. And even the B tier ones have incredible stuff inside of them. The rematch of the century, the retaking of Mandalore, the premiere of this with Kanan Jarrus, what it sets up in Rebels Season 1, Tales of the Empire has some incredible moments. It's such an incredible time to be a Star Wars fan. I've been saying it for years now, but it's still the best time to be a Star Wars fan right now. I was saying that at the end of the Bad Batch Season 2. And, well, I was right, obviously. Since then, we've gotten S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier. Since then. Oh, and S tier. But it's still, right now, the best time to be a Star Wars fan, because you can go on Disney Plus and watch all these shows. But I can guarantee you that Andor Season 2 is going to be higher than Andor Season 1. Or I think it will be. I can't really guarantee that, but I can think it will be. Meaning, we're going to be getting even more S-tier content this year. And Ahsoka Season 2 is probably next year too, which is hopefully as good as Season 1. Whew. So there you go. There you have it. Should we post this onto Twitter and see the people go crazy? Let's do it. Is that going to just... Oh, that's not what I want. Hang on. Let's just take a screenshot of it, and then I'll post it on Twitter. And we'll see the fandom go crazy for where I placed the Acolyte for sure. It's so funny. A lot of those projects, when you look at them, from the Book of Boba Fett to Kenobi to the Acolyte to Mando Season 3 to Skeleton Crew, I'm sure. A lot of those projects, you either really, really love them, or you really, really love them, or you hate them. And that's what's really crazy because obviously they're very different. Andor, it doesn't have the Force. It doesn't have lightsabers. The Acolyte's the exact opposite. It's all lightsabers, all the Force, all the time. You look at Ahsoka, which is very similar. It's new lore. It's the Force. It's lightsabers. It's Jedi. It's Anakin. It's Ahsoka. Then you look at the Mandalorian. It's bounty hunting. It's sort of the underworld. It's the dirty, the dark side of Star Wars. Like they're both great, but it's very different. So people who have differing opinions on what they like and dislike in Star Wars, well, it's very evident in the projects that they do and don't like. But having said that, whoops, let's post this to Twitter, shall we? Okay. What should we make it? Do you agree? let's just caption this. Ranked all Star Wars seasons. Do you agree with this list? Let's find out, chat. Let's find out. Let's actually put some hashtags on this. Hashtag Star Wars. Hashtag Skeleton Crew. Hashtag The Acolyte. Of course. And hashtag Ahsoka. Done. Post. And if you are not following me on Twitter already, this is the wake-up call, chat. Go do that. We should rank all the movies. We'll rank the movies at some point. Maybe when the Mandalorian and Grogu movie comes out. The movies, it's an easier list. Obviously, there's only 11 of them. But it would probably not take too long. Do you guys want to? I feel like we'll leave it at that. It'll take a little while to do that, and we don't have the time. Let's put it. Yeah. Let's end this poll. I'm actually shocked. I did not see it going that way. I thought that Skeleton Crew was going to be S tier, in my personal opinion, but I thought you guys were going to really disagree with me, and it was going to make an argument. But when I put that poll up, and over 50% of you guys agree with me, I was like, okay, this is good. We're good here. Where did you rank Book of Boba Fett? All right, let's take one last gander at this list. I put Book of Boba Fett at the bottom of A, especially because it has one of the greatest episodes of all time in it, which is From the Desert Comes a Stranger. I love this list. I absolutely love this list. I want to compare it and contrast it to the last list we did. Oh, save and download, maybe? Save. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to send this let's reset it. Yeah. Okay, reset. And then I'm going to, how do I share this to the Discord? Hang on. Share Twitter. No, I just want to share it. What if I go like this? Just copy this. So if I copy that and just put it in the Discord, let's see. Let's see if this works, chat. Paste. Click on it. Okay, cool. That worked. Okay, so if you go into the Discord right now, there's a link in the description below if you're not already in the Discord. You can make your own tier list based off of this that we just did. So go check that out and then send it to the Discord. Send in your ranking and we'll see how compare and contrast ours. Actually, I'll send my ranking screenshot too here to the Discord. That's mine. There we go. Okay. Well, that was quite the stream, if I do say so myself. A little shaky around some parts, but we made it through. We made it through nonetheless. Okay. But we are about at the 2-hour mark, and my voice kind of came back here a little bit, which is kind of nice. But I apologize for the grogginess, I guess, of my voice and the way it sounded all stream. But we pushed through. We survived. Yeah. So we did it. Yeah. We did it, I guess, in a way. Yeah. Joshua says, could we do a bunch of live streams / watch-alongs for all the most controversial shows? Well, we have been doing that. Last summer, we did The Acolyte. That was something. Yeah. CJ, what's up? I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Do the movies and shows, please, please. We just did the shows. What are you talking about? We just did the shows for 2 hours. We'll do the movies another time. We'll do the movies another time. Yeah. Unless I can find one that's really, really quick to do in like 2 seconds. Unless I already made one about the movies. Let's see. Making all the Star Wars movies. Hang on. Oh, I already have a chat. All right, we'll do it really quick. Really, really quick, okay? Star Wars movies, chat. We're going to do it really, really fast, okay? So, starting with release order. Release order only. Phantom Menace here. Last Jedi. Force Awakens. Rise of Skywalker's last. That's between that. Okay. So, starting with A New Hope. 1977. A New Hope. Where do we rank it? Where do we rank it, chat? Where do we rank it? Really quick. Come on, come on, come on. We gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. Whoa, you gave in to the fans? I tried. S tier. It's S tier. I mean, obviously. I don't think it's the best Star Wars movie of all time, but it is definitely S tier. I mean, it goes without saying what it's set up. It set up Star Wars. It's the beginning. It's the start. Without this, there's nothing else. We wouldn't be here without this movie. So obviously, it's S tier, but not even just because of what it did for the Star Wars community, but the story itself is S tier. Now, moving on to The Empire Strikes Back, my second favorite Star Wars movie of all time. Where do we rank it? S tier, obviously. I do put it above New Hope. Some people may argue with that. Maybe they have a deep down feeling connection to A New Hope that they don't feel for Empire. But to me, Empire is just a better story. It's a better... The bad guys win. I love a good bad guy winning movie or show. So that for me is the top of the top, or one of the top of the top. Then we get to Return of the Jedi. And Return of the Jedi can go a lot of different ways for a lot of people. It can. It really, really can. So I'm interested to see where you guys put Return of the Jedi. Yeah. S. Arguably top 3 movie of all time. See, some people really, really love Return of the Jedi, but some people don't. They think like the Ewoks are too goofy or whatever, stuff like that. To me, I love the Ewoks. I absolutely love the Ewoks. I can't go through this list without putting all 3 original trilogies in the S tier because that's where they belong. But I will say I have Return of the Jedi below OG Star Wars. To me, it's a great story. It's a great end to the series. I just like the original Star Wars better. Maybe it's because it's the second Death Star. It's sort of a carbon copy of the first movie, a little bit. But it's still a great story. It's still a great everything. But I just have A New Hope slightly above it. Slightly. Now we get to The Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace, chat. Where do we put it? The Phantom Menace. This is a pretty divided one. Because some fans either really, really love it or are like, not really. Either you're fans of the the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and you didn't like this, or what do we think? To me, I think it's a really, really high A. I think, obviously, the Duel of the Fates puts it in the A category alone. Maybe the Duel of Fates puts it in the S category. Hang on, chat. Does Darth Maul and the Duel of the Fates put the Phantom Menace in the S category? It's definitely overhated for sure. Yeah. For sure. I'm going to put it in A for now. I'm going to put it in A. All right. Attack of the Clones. Now, Attack of the Clones to me is the most hated, overhated Star Wars show. I mean, movie. Fuck. It's the most hated Star Wars movie. Yes. I got it on an A too. I think it's right below The Phantom Menace, but there's a lot of great stuff in that movie. I mean, the fight between Yoda and Dooku at the end, the fight between Anakin and Dooku at the end is really, really good. The Battle of Geonosis is great. Mace Windu chopping off his head. But I really love the beginning stuff. The stuff where Obi-Wan has to find the missing planet Kamino, and they find this army. Like the lore there. Count Dooku, the lore there is incredible. And I think Attack of the Clones is the most overhated Star Wars movie of all time. Because do the sequel trilogies get hate? Yes. But are they overhated? Not nearly as much as Attack of the Clones. Moving on to Revenge of the Sith, it is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. Top of the top. From start to finish, it's just action, incredible story, and of course, the best ending. The best ending, the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin on Mustafar. The best. And it actually is parallel with Yoda versus Palpatine on Coruscant, which is just even underrated as hell. But from the very jump, the very beginning, it's the opening of the giant space battle to go save Dooku outside of Coruscant. It's incredible. It's a masterpiece. A masterpiece. Top of the top. But you may disagree, so tell me in the chat. Then we get to 10 years later, The Force Awakens in 2015, the first of the sequel trilogy, and my personal favorite of the sequel trilogy itself. Now, the entire sequel trilogy is going to depend on how you view the sequels, whether you absolutely hate every minute of them or you are more open-minded or whatever it may be. To me, The Force Awakens is a solid, solid movie. Does it have copy and pasted aspects from A New Hope? Yes, but we just talked about it. So doesn't Return of the Jedi. The Force Awakens does a lot of great, great things, and The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker kind of negate those, but it perfectly sets up Snoke, it perfectly sets up Kylo, it perfectly sets up Finn, it perfectly sets up Rey, it perfectly sets up Luke Skywalker's return, it perfectly sets up Leia and Han, it perfectly sets up everything. It is the perfect setup to a new trilogy. And it's the second two movies that fall off. For me, it's not quite S tier, but I do have it above these other two. It is the perfect setup. The perfect one. And it's the second two movies that make this movie look worse. But like I said with the shows, if I'm ever going back to watch a Star Wars project, if I don't want to watch an original trilogy movie or a prequel trilogy movie, The Force Awakens is the first one I'm going to go watch. Other than Rogue One. But yeah. So for those reasons, it sits right there. Maybe you disagree, but it's the perfect setup. It's the perfect setup. It's just what comes after is not. You got to remember the hype around 2015, 2016. After The Force Awakens ended with that big cliffhanger of Luke on the cliff and all those things that got set up in that first movie, the predictions of who is Snoke and all this crazy stuff of is Finn going to be a Jedi and all this crazy stuff, it was awesome. It was such a great time in the Star Wars community. But it was all negated by The Last Jedi. And that's what becomes the issue. Yeah. So The Force Awakens as its own movie, not really putting into effect the Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, it is a great watch. But moving on to Rogue One, which I think is the single best Disney Star Wars movie. I do put it higher than Return of the Jedi, and I actually do put it higher than A New Hope. Some of you might disagree with that, but it is an S-tier movie nonetheless, whether you put it here or here or here. It's still an S movie. I put it right there. It's my third favorite Star Wars movie of all time. It's pretty much these two movies, a similar sort of great story with great characters, but it's updated visual effects. It's great, great battle scenes. It's an incredible story. It's Vader. It's Krennic. It's Tarkin. It's the Death Star. It's the Rebellion. It's incredible. It's incredible. S tier, 1000%. Yeah. Okay. Then we have The Last Jedi, and I know it's a very, very divisive topic when we talk about it, and I'm going to go through it really quickly. Are there aspects of this movie that are really cool? Yeah. Visually, it's great. Visually, it's really, really cool. The battle scenes are cool as hell. When Luke Skywalker shows up, it's cool. The Force projection thing, it's badass. Did I want Luke Skywalker to show up? Yes. But projecting yourself through the Force across the galaxy, it's badass. There's a lot of issues with the movie. A lot. It's a one big slow chase scene that's really, really a bummer. Luke being the old hermit on the island, it's not explained well enough. It's not explained well enough. If it was explained better, maybe it could work. But right now, it's just not explained well enough. For those reasons, I got to put it at a C, I think. Yeah, C. I put it at a C. The reason it's not a D is because I will go back and watch this movie. It's not like I refuse to see this movie as it exists. I will watch it. But it's not like I throw up every time I look at the screen. I'll watch it. It's got some cool scenes in it. Visually, very, very cool. And some people really, really like it. But moving on to Solo, I put Solo at a solid B. Solo gets a lot of hate. It does. Now, it didn't make a lot of money in the box office. It recasted Han Solo as Harrison Ford as Han Solo, but it's not that bad. It really isn't. It's better than a lot of people. What the hell? It's better than a lot of people give it credit for. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you could even argue an A. I'd maybe even give it a low A, but for me, it's a B. It's a B. Then we have The Rise of Skywalker. And The Rise of Skywalker, to me, it's almost like 3 movies in one. It's so fast paced. It's so much story. It's like trying to play catch up for what The Last Jedi did. The Last Jedi is so slow because it's a slow paced chase scene. The Rise of Skywalker is the exact opposite. It's bang, 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 bang. It's jam packed. Is there a bunch of sort of plot holes in it? Yes. The dagger that shows you the place where the Death Star throne room is. Yes. But the opening on Mustafar is cool. The visuals, like I said with The Last Jedi, are really, really cool. The fight between Palpatine and Rey at the end is really cool. Somehow Palpatine returned. It's the exact same thing of Luke being in Hermit on the island. If it's explained better, it works. If Palpatine was supposed to return from the very beginning, it would work, but he wasn't. And if he was, there would be more hints towards it in the first couple of movies, and it would be cool. But somehow Palpatine Returns does not work right now. It could work eventually. It's already being built up to work more with the Project Necromancer, the connections in The Mandalorian, the connections in the book, in the Bad Batch. That works more now. But when it came out in 2019, it didn't work. It did not work. But Ian McDermott back as Palpatine is awesome. Mustafar is the opening scene. Rise of Skywalker, it's the opening scene with Kylo Ren fighting Darth Vader's Wayfinder to Exegol. It's the opening scene. Yeah. So for those reasons, I do have it higher than The Last Jedi. On a good day, I'd have it here, but I think the realistic spot is there. I'd go in between here and here. I know some people really, really dislike this movie, but it's a fun watch, just from start to finish. Other than the somehow Palpatine returns and they fly now, it's a fun watch. So I'd put it there or there. And yeah, there you have it. Star Wars. That was quick. That was nice and easy. But I do have to get on out of here. Obviously, my voice is pretty much gone by now. But I do have to get on out of here. We've hit the 2-hour mark by a mile now, one of our longer streams. But we do have a lot of news to get to actually, we're going to stream on Monday this week. We have a lot of news to get to on Monday's stream, so watch out for that. Skeleton Crew news, but also Andor news and Mando news, a lot of news. So until then, wait. We are going live tonight. I'm a guest on a podcast tonight, so watch out for that. I'll send the link in the description. I'll send the link in the Discord later on. I will be on a guest on a live stream later tonight, so watch out for that. We're going to be actually ranking Star Wars movies and Star Wars shows and all this other stuff too. It'll be fun. There's a bunch of other Star Wars content creators on there, so watch out for that. I'll send the link in the Discord, okay? Let me actually check if I've gotten that link yet. Hang on. Let me see. So we're going live on Kenobi's Corner. So this is actually Kenobi's Corner's first ever live stream, ever. So we're going live on this, so watch out for that. I'll send it over in the Discord later on, but yeah, that's where we're going live. Okay, but until then, smash a freaking like on this stream, hit that subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and my pretty face will show the recommended feed of yours. Kenobi's Corner with a K, corner with a K. Go check that out. We'll be live there later. Hopefully I sound a little bit better than this. But until then, smash a like on this stream if you have not already. How many likes do we got, chat? That's pretty good. 95. We got 95 people here. So I appreciate it. Huge shout out to Darth Plagueis Lives, your pal Joe, Grayified X, Andy K, Lucas, another Michael Love Star Wars for the very generous super chats and memberships. I appreciate it. Yeah. So until then, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And smash a freaking like on this stream. And may the force be with you. Always. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more. Adam, it's Kenobi's Corner. Kenobi's Corner. Corner with a K. Kenobi's Corner. Adam, Kenobi's Corner. You can do it. I believe in you. Adam, I will see you there at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will see you there. Kenobi's Corner. Adam, I will see you there. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kenobi's Corner. Watch out for it. It's in 5 hours from now. Oh, you guys can't post links in the chat. Let me try. I'll post a link. I'll post a link in the chat right now. Hang on. I'll post a link in the chat right now. Copy. Copy, paste. Okay, there you go. There's the link to the channel we'll be live on later tonight. So I appreciate it. Yeah. Until then, hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.